We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Identification brings misery, and non-identification brings bliss. The Sutra of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra that we are taking explains how not to identify with anything now or the past. Let attention be at a place where you are seeing some past happening. We see a past happening, a memory, we identify. We cannot do anything to that. Misery comes in. Let attention be at a place where you are seeing some past happening, and even your form having lost its present characteristic is transformed. You are remembering your past, any happening, your childhood, your love affair, death of your father or mother, anything, look at it. But do not get involved in it. Remember it as if you are remembering someone else's life. And when this happening is being filmed again, it is on the screen again. Be attentive, aware, a witness, but remain aloof. Your past form will be there in the film, in the story. If you are remembering your love affair, your first love affair, you will be there with your beloved. Your past form will be there with your beloved, past form. You cannot remember otherwise. Be detached from your past form as well. Look at the whole phenomena as if someone else were loving someone else, as if the whole thing does not belong to you. You are simply a witness, an observer. This is one of the basic techniques. It has been used particularly by Buddha. There are many forms of this technique. You can find your own way of approaching this. For example, when you are just falling into sleep at night, just ready to fall asleep, go backward through the memories of the whole day. Do not start from the morning. Instead, start from where you are. The last event, remember first. At a time, I used to write my daily diary. So sometimes I wrote the first incident first. Then afterwards, after doing this for some time, I started writing the last event, important event of the day first, and go into retrospect. Go backward through the memories of the whole day. Do not start from the morning. Start right from where you are, just on the bed. Last thing, and then go back. Then go back slowly and slowly, step by step, just to the first experience. In the morning, when you first wake up, go back and remember continuously that you are not getting involved. You are just watching a movie. For example, in the afternoon, someone insulted you. See yourself, the form of yourself, you are being insulted by someone, but you remain simply a witness, a sakshi. Do not get involved. Do not get angry again. If you get angry, that means you are identified. Then you miss the whole point of meditation that I am pointing out to you. Do not get angry. He is insulting you. He is insulting the form that was there in the afternoon. Now he is not insulting you. That form has gone now. That was yesterday. That was in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. And that form is not there. The person whom he insulted is not there. That is why when you apologize to me, it becomes very difficult, because the person who you have done something and now extending an apology is no more. I am a river which is constantly flowing, a chetna, which is constantly flowing. I am not static. That is why Heraclitus says that you cannot enter the same river twice, because river is not a static water, a stagnant water. It is a flow. The water is flowing, and the water that flowed now will not flow next moment. The consciousness that I am, with that the word I flowed, the word am is not flowing with that consciousness. It's a totally different consciousness. So the form is not there. You are watching a movie, and do not get identified with it. You are just like a river flowing. The forms are flowing. In your childhood you had one form. Now you do not have that form anymore. But the memory of that remains, and that creates this serious problem for you, identification with that. River-like. You are changing continuously every second, iota of a second you are changing. So when in the night you are meditating backward on the happening of the day, just remember that you are a witness. Do not get angry. Someone was praising you and you were happy. Now you are remembering that, so do not be elated with it. Just look at the whole thing as if you are looking indifferently a film, and backwards is helpful, particularly for those who have any trouble with sleep, particularly those who have sleep problems. If you have trouble with sleep, insomnia, sleeplessness, if you find it difficult to fall into sleep, this will help deeply. Why? Because this is unbinding of the mind. When you go back, you are unbinding the mind. In the morning, you start binding the coil, binding the mind. And mind becomes tangled in so many things, in places. Unfinished and incomplete many things will remain on the mind, and there is no time to let them settle at the very moment when they happen. So in the night, go back. This is an unbinding process. And when you get back to the morning, when you were just on your bed, to the first thing in the morning, you will again have the same fresh mind that you had in the morning. Then you can fall asleep like a small child. You can do this technique of going back for your whole life as well. Mahabir used this technique of going back extensively. And now there is a movement in America called Dianetics. They are using this method and finding it very useful. This movement, Dianetics, says that all your diseases are hangover of the past. They are right. If you can go back and unbind your whole life, with that unbinding, many diseases will disappear completely. And this has been proven by so many successful incidents. There are so many cases now. So many persons suffer from a particular disease and nothing psychological, nothing medical helps, and the disease continues. The disease seems to be psychological. What to do about it? To say to someone that his disease is psychological is no help. Rather it may prove harmful, because no one feels good when you say that your disease is psychological. What can he do then? He feels he is helpless. This going backward is a miraculous method. If you go back slowly unbinding the mind to the first movement when this disease happened, if by and by you go back to when for the first time you were attacked by this disease, if you can unbind that moment, you will come to know that this disease is basically a complex of certain other things, certain psychological things. By going back, those things will bubble up. If you've passed through that moment when disease attacked you, suddenly you will become aware of what psychological factors contributed to it, and you are not to do anything. You are just to become aware of those psychological factors and go on backward. Many diseases simply disappear from you because the complex that has caused it is broken. When you become aware of the complex, then there is no need of it. You are cleared, you are purged. This is a deep catharsis. If you can do it daily, You will feel a new health, a new freshness coming to you. And if you can teach children to do it daily, they will never be burdened of the past. They will not need to go ever to the past. They will always be here now. There won't be any hang up. Nothing will be hovering over their mind from the past. You can do it daily. It will give you a new insight for going backward through the whole day. Start with the day. The mind would like to start from the morning, but remember, then there is that way there is no unbinding. Unbinding happens when you start remembering the last event first and then go to the events before. Rather, the whole thing is re-emphasized. If you start from the morning, this is wrong. So start from the end. The last event first, and then you come back to the first event of the day. It is not necessary that you do everything, the whole rewinding same time. You have started the process. Wherever you fall asleep is good enough. You don't need to go back. There are so many teachers who suggest to do this, to reflect on whole day, but they tell you to start from the morning. That is wrong. Not only wrong but harmful as well, because then you are not rebinding but you are re-emphasizing the whole thing and the trap will deepen. Never go from the morning to the evening. Always go backward. When I was growing up, my uncle, the Sufi master, asked me to write diary. And probably I have heard him that he used to write his diary. So writing the diary, you cannot write in the morning. You cannot write in the day. You have to write it at the end of the day when you are going to sleep. You are writing it then. When you are writing, first I started doing the first event of the day first. There was an effort. Then I started doing, but I did not find it beneficial. There was nothing and no one to tell me anything. Then on my own I started writing the last event first before coming on to the bed. I will start writing. And you start from 99, 98, 97 and go back. Go from a 100 to 1, not from 1 to 100. You will find it, you will feel difficulty because mind has a habit to move from 1 to 100, never from 100 to 1 in the reverse gear. Now, even simple things that I did, You start counting from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I start counting from the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Never go from the morning to the evening, always go backward. Only then you can clean the whole thing, purge the whole thing. The mind would like to start from the morning because it is easier. Mind knows it and there is no problem. If you start going backward, suddenly you will feel you have jumped into the morning and you have started going forward again. Do not do that. Be aware and go back. You can train your mind to go through other things as well. Just go from 100 to 99, 98, 97. Go from 100 to 1. You will feel difficulty because mind has a habit of going from 100 to 1. Never from 100 to 1. In the same way, you have to go backward with this technique. What will happen? Going backward, mind begins to unwind. You are a witness. You are seeing things that happen to you, but now they are not happening. Now you are just a witness and they are happening on the screen of your mind. While doing this daily, suddenly you will find you become aware during the day, while working in the market, in your office, or anywhere, that you can be a witness to the events that are happening just now. If you can be a witness later on and look back at someone who has insulted you, insulted you without becoming angry about it, why not now to what is presently happening? Someone is insulting you, what is the difficulty? You can pull yourself aside just now and you can see that someone is insulting you and still you are different from the body, from the mind, from that which is insulted. You can be a witness to it. You can be a witness to this, and when you are a witness to it, you will not be angry. Then anger is impossible. Anger is possible only when you are identified. If you are not identified, anger is impossible. Anger means identification, and identification means misery. That's why anger is misery. And when you are not identified, you are not angry, and there will not be misery. Instead, there will be bliss. This technique says, look at any happening of the past, your form will be there. The sutra says your form uses the word form, not you. Your picture, your image, is your form. You are never there. Always form is involved. You are never involved. When you insult me, you do not insult me. You cannot insult me. You cannot insult only the form. The form which I am is there, just here, now for you. You can insult that form and I can detach myself from the form. I stand up like that. That is why Hindus have always been insisting on being detached from the name and form. You are neither your name nor your form. I recall one day in my store, I was standing at the cashier. A person comes in, handed me her visiting card and said, I am a doctor. I said, oh, I am a cardiac doctor. Oh. I did my medicine from this university. Oh, really? Did my MD in cardiac medicine from this university. Oh, really? And I did my PhD from this university. You are, and I said, but you did your MBBS. You cannot directly enter into, looking at her visiting card, you cannot enter into MBBS or get an MBBS degree without doing the pre-qualifications. What about that? You did not do that? Surprised. What do you mean that? I said, you have mentioned that you did MBBS from this university, MD from this university, MD from another university, PhD from any other university, but you did not say from where you did your primary schooling, secondary schooling, the pre-university schooling. All that needs to be mentioned as well. What is your name? My name is Dr. So and so. Doctor is a degree. Then I told her, I said, doctor is not your name. Is it your name that was given to you at the birth? It is because you have attained a certain degree that you are given that adjective to add before your name as an identification. But this is how we live our life. And that identification gives a problem. So, if I say something, how are you saying, I am a doctor, I am such a reputed person, I am the president, I am this and that, and you are telling me all this? Someone asked me, what is your name? My name? I am identified with this name. When I am having the morning session, I am identified by the name taoshobuddha. In business place, I am identified as Mr. Mohan. When I am a driver, I am identified as a driver. And even sometimes when your wife or spouse gets angry with you, you know what names she uses. You are identified with that name. I need not call that. All these are identifications. Which identification is really yours? These are not my names. I am identified by many names. That is why Muslims say there are 99 names of Allah. Hindus say Sahasranam, 1,000 names of Vishnu. Name is there for identification, form is there for identification. All men are same, but their identification is different. That's why when your image it says the identity card. Your driver's permit, your passport is an identity card. It gives you the identification of the form that you are. You are neither your name nor your form. In reality, you are your consciousness who knows the form, and the name and consciousness is different, totally different. But it is difficult to start with the past. Then it is easy, because now with this past there is no urgency. Someone insulted you 20 years back, there is no urgency in it. The man may have died, everything may have finished. It is a dead affair, just dead from the past. It is easy to be aware of it, but once you can become aware, there is no difficulty in doing the same thing with what is happening just here now. But start from here and now. It is difficult. The problem is so urgent and it is so near that there is no space to move. It is difficult to create a space and move from the incident. That is why the sutra says start with the past. Look at your own form, detached, standing aloof and different, and be transformed through it. You will be transformed through it because it is a process of deep cleaning, deep unwinding. Then you can know that your body, your mind, your existence in time are not your basic reality. The substantial reality is different. Things come and go upon it without touching the least. You remain innocent, untouched. You remain virgin. The whole thing passes. The whole life passes, good and bad, success and failure, praise and blame. Everything passes, disease and health, youth and old age, birth and death. Everything passes and nothing touches you. But how to know this untouched reality within you? That is the purpose of this technique. Start with the past. There is a gap when you look at your past. The perceptive is possible, or look at the future. But to look at the future is difficult. Only for a few people, observing the future is not difficult. The poets, for people with imagination who can look into the future as if they are looking at the reality. But ordinarily, the past is good to use and start from there. You can look into the past. For the young man, it is good to look into the future, but it is easier for them to look into the future because youth is future oriented. The old age is past oriented. The old man cannot look into the future, they are afraid. That is why old man starts thinking about the golden past. They always go back again and again into their memories, but they commit the same mistake. They start the past. They start from the past towards their present state of being, which is wrong. They should go backward. Memory, they start from the childhood, not from where you stand and then you go back 99, 98, 97, 96 backward. If they go backward many times, by and by they feel that their whole past is washed away from them. And then a person can die without clinging to the past. If you can die without clinging to your past, you will die consciously. You will die fully aware. Then death will not be a death to you, rather it is a meeting of the deathless. Clean the whole consciousness of the depth of the past, and your very being will be transformed through it. Try this. Try this method. It is not difficult. Only persistent effort is needed. There is no inherent difficulty in the method. It is simple. You can start with your day. Just tonight on your bed, go backward. You will feel very beautiful. You will feel blissful, and then the whole day will have passed. But do not be in a hurry. Pass it slowly so that nothing is missed. It is very strange feeling because many things will come up before your eyes. Many things will have really missed while passing through the day, because you were too much engaged in everything. Your mind goes on collecting them when you were not aware. You are passing through the street, someone was singing. You might not have paid attention. You might not have been aware that you have heard this sound just passing in the street, but the mind has heard and recorded it. Now it will cling. That will become a burden to you, unnecessary. So go back, but go back slowly and slowly, as if film is being shown to you in a very slow motion. Go back and see the details. Then one day, then your day will look very, very long. It is really because for the mind there has been so much information and the mind has recorded everything. Now go back. By and by you will become capable of knowing everything that has been recorded. And once you can go back, it is just like a tape recorder. It was washed away. By the time you will reach the morning, you will fall asleep. The quality of the sleep will be different. It will be meditative. Then again in the morning, when you feel you are awakened, do not open your eyes immediately. Go backward in the night. It will be difficult in the beginning. You may go a little. Some fragments of the dream which you were just dreaming before sleep were broken. may come back, may come to your mind, but by and by, with gradual effort, you will be able to penetrate more and more into it. And after a period of 3 months, you will be capable of moving backward to the point where you fall asleep. And you can go backward deep within the sleep. Your quality of sleep and waking will change completely, because then you cannot dream. Dreaming has become futile. You can go back in the day, and in the night, dreaming will not be needed. Now, psychologists say dreaming is really an unbinding process. If you have done it consciously yourself, then there is no need. And that has been all that has been hanging in the mind, all that has remained unfulfilled, incomplete, tries to complete itself in the dream. You were passing on the street. You saw a beautiful house. A subtle desire arises in you to possess it. But you are going to the office, and there was no time for daydreaming, so you just passed by. You did not even notice that the mind has created a desire to possess this house or this vehicle. But now the desire is hanging there, suspended, and it cannot be removed. It will be difficult to sleep in the night then. Difficulties in sleep basically meant only one thing, that your day is still hanging over you and you cannot be relieved by it. You are clinging to it. Then in the night you see a dream that you have become the owner of this house. Now you are living in this house. The moment this dream comes to you, your mind is relieved. So ordinary people think that dreams are disturbance to sleep. That is absolutely wrong. Dreams are not disturbance to sleep. They are not disturbing your sleep. Instead, they are helping. Without them, you will not fall asleep. As you are, you cannot sleep without dream, because your dreams are helping to complete things which have remained incomplete during the waking state. And there are things which cannot be completed. Your mind goes on desiring absurd things. They cannot be completed in reality. So what to do? Those incomplete desires go in your mind and they keep on hopping. They keep you busy in thinking. So what to do? You have a beautiful woman and you are attached to her. Now desire has arisen to possess her. You have seen a beautiful woman or a handsome man. You are attracted to the person. Now the desire has arisen to possess the person. It may not be possible. The person may not have even looked at you. So what to do? Dream will help. In dream you can possess the person, then mind is relieved. As far as mind is concerned, there is no difference between dream and reality. What is the difference? Loving a woman in reality and loving a woman in dream. What is the difference for the mind? There is no difference. Or this may be the difference. The dream phenomena may be more beautiful, because then the woman will not disturb you. If it is your dream, and you can do anything. The woman will not create any problems for you. The man will not create any problem for you. The other is absolutely absent. You are alone there. As far as mind is concerned, there is no difference. Psychologists say that if you can be put in coma for 100 years, he will dream for complete those 100 years. If you do this technique, there will be no need for dreams. The quality of your sleep will be changed totally, because without dreams you will fall to the very bottom of your being, and without dreams you will be aware in your sleep. That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that while everyone is deeply asleep, the yogi is not. The yogi is awake. That does not mean the yogi is not sleeping. He is also sleeping. But the quality of his sleep is different than your sleep. Your sleep is just like a drugged unconsciousness, and yogi's sleep is relaxation with no unconsciousness. His whole body is relaxed. Every fiber and every cell of the whole body is relaxed. Tension has left and is fully aware of it. Try this technique. Start from tonight. Try it. Then do it in the morning also. And when you feel that you are attuned to this technique, that you can do it after 1 week, try it for the whole past. First, you are starting with the events of the day, starting from the last event of the day, and go from 99 to 1. 99, 98, 97, 96 and backward. Lie down on some lonely space and then do it. You will be surprised. Ordinarily you cannot remember much, and you can not pass the barrier of 4 or 5 years of age. Continue doing this. Then I will go and tell you to do the rest of it. The desires stop. So many things happen. Start from this here. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.